there's somehow a process of changing the society and changing the existence of human being in its environment, in its social and cultural and symbolic environment. And the cultural theory is defining 4 different steps. The first step of being confronted with the environment is the flee. If I get confronted with someone I do not know, the first reaction, maybe the inner reaction, is to flee. We can see it in the phylogenetic, but also in the ontogenetic development. The next step, the theory says, is not to flee yourself, but to bring others to flee. It's fight. Yeah? But still, this is not enough to come along with the environment, with the cultural and social environment. So the human being developed another quality, which is called delegation. If we do not know how to decide, we delegate it to the authorities or to the scientists or to the justice or whatever. And there's another level, a next level, which is called compromise. We know we have to come to an agreement, and coming to an agreement, we also have to live together and to be in a society somehow. So we have to know that what we think is real is an agreement of what is real. Communication is the construction of reality. And maybe there's still some step we have to do, or we are somehow in it, which is called dialectic. We have to learn that communication is not only a model of consens, it is a model of different. If we talk together, I learn from you if I know what is your position, and you learn what is my position. So the difference, finding out what is the difference of our perspectives, that maybe is then the factor of communication. This is one model. Another model by Wilhelm Flusser, he says the change is when we try to observe the change, the social change, it is somehow an increasing abstraction. He's explaining it by the photograph. We are making photos and we say this is, and this is. But everybody knows making a photo means we just we simulate something. We simulate a family, friendship, or whatever. So we are coming from one step of abstraction to the next. And we do this, he says, because we are facing the finiteness of life. And the communication is somehow the art trick to forget that we are facing the end of all what is living, and the sense of living is to have an end. It would not be alive if it would not. An endless life is not alive in our cultural understanding. So communication as the art trick to get along with this knowledge is that we try to find steps of getting to distance to what we experience as a reality. And this is somehow a way of delegation. So these are cultural models of making understanding that the way how we think the society, how we think ourselves, changes the reality or changes what we do. It's in short one question out of, let me say, communicology. And to the second question from Jack, how do we know what we know, or how do we not know what we not know? So, communication is somehow an intrinsic knowledge. I try to understand it somehow in a, let me say, we have a vertical understanding. We have somehow an idea of what is communication, and we realize what is communication. In order to find out when what model of communication makes sense, we need to communicate about this. So we have to find a horizontal communication. And this is, let me say, as we do here, the scientific communication. We find a level of communication, understanding communication. And in this cross, the vertical line and the horizontal between theory and practice, and between idea and reality, we now have at least 4 different fields of understanding communication or understanding social change. And there's somehow a normative understanding, it's an empirical understanding, it's a critical understanding, and it's a practical understanding. And we mostly talked about the empirical understanding. We did not talk about the normative understanding of social change. We did not really talk about the critical understanding. Jan Servas was talking about it. There are a lot of different theories on social change. Theory of modernity, theory of social change, of social learning, and so on and so on. We didn't really talk about that. We have been mostly in this field because, and this brings me to the next question, technology, because we have a technological understanding of change. It has not always been like that. The technological understanding of change is a cultural understanding of social change. Because before technology, which is somehow a delegation principle, reminding to what I said before, we had other principles and other factors of change. It was authority, it was the king or the richest man or whatever. So technology is somehow, let's say, a democratic, delegated model of social change. So the social change is not only ordered by someone who has the power, it is done by ourselves. The last question, I know it's very, very short. The last question on the theory of constancy. Of course, the society, we have the interest that society is consistent, and we have the interest that there's a cohesion and an integration. But of what we think society is, society is just a communicative model. It is if we, and when we, and through our communication. It's not existing outside of us. It's a communicative model, it's a communicative and it's a cognitive model, and we know that we have so many different understanding of that. So we are using it as if it would be some subject, but it is not a subject by itself. It is how we communicate on that, and so we have to talk about how we are communication on what we are communicating. Thank you very much.
شكرا.